let's get started and let's get right into it. Good morning. As we all know, we are in quarantine. All we are in our houses due to the dreadful news about the pandemic, coronavirus, spreading all around the world. So online lessons are essential. So that's why I'm here today. So basically, today we are going to talk about, I don't know if you can see that, IELTS. We're going to talk about IELTS. Hopefully it's not reflecting. Can you see that? IELTS. Yeah, fellas? So, IELTS. Today is only an introduction about IELTS. I'm going to tell you what the four parts of IELTS, the four sections. We've got the listening, we've got the reading and the writing and the speaking. Now it's very common that so much people have problems with speaking. Speaking goes with practice. As much as you practice, as much as you get the capacity, the capability to communicate, to understand, to listen, and so on. Yes, so I prepared basically, as you see here, I'm going to depend on this book. It's a Barron's book, and as I was saying, there is so much resources. There is so much books about IELTS. You can go and search your favorite book, or you can find teachers to recommend a book for you for IELTS. But it's very important that you set yourself for a goal. You see, English needs you to be kinda motivated. It needs you to be capable to wonder, to be curious. You have to it's like you really want something very much and you need to make it happen. You need to put so much effort to make that thing happen, and this is the most important thing in IELTS. For me, IELTS it's like a goal, a dream for my students, which means if I want IELTS, why I want IELTS in the first place? Why do I need IELTS? Well, I tell you why. First of all, IELTS is amazing because it makes you capable to study abroad, or you can migrate outside, which means like you can live in another country and you can work. So IELTS is the best, as far as I think. It's the best testing program that you can take, so it can make you capable to live outside in your dream country, if you know what I mean, and to work, and at the same time to study university and so on. Now, if you want IELTS, you have to know, do you want a general IELTS or you want an academic IELTS? Now, both of them, they are different. You see, not quite different. General IELTS, people tend to take it because they want to travel abroad and they want to live there. Immigrate there, they need to live there. So they take IELTS, and so that it can make them capable to live comfortably there, because IELTS is exactly an exam which makes you capable to speak English, to reach that amount of understanding with the people. in a speaking language, as a native language, like the States, United States, or UK, or any speaking other country. So IELTS is essential. IELTS is important. We're talking about general. We're talking about academic. The academic side is a bit hard for some of the students, at least the students that I took. And the academic is a little tricky because it has charts or diagrams or tables which you need to give a report about, or you need to give a kind of scientific report about. Academic is not very hard, like as the general as well, but students tend to make it very hard for them because they have that concept, that idea of this is hard, academic is hard, I can do academic. You can do academic. IELTS has a part where you need to trust yourself. You need to be able to be capable of believing in yourself. And I am telling you right now that you can do it. IELTS is a very important exam, and I'm not telling you it's a piece of cake, but what I'm trying to tell you is if you want IELTS, you need to motivate yourself. You need to find your inspiration. You need to be able to understand the mind, the thoughts, the ideas, the culture of the language that's spoken in. So you need to understand those perspectives because IELTS is very, very beautiful. I cannot express it more. So without any further ado, we will start with the listening part. You see, the listening part is a bit challenging because a lot of students that we have, they have a problem with listening because it's a British accent. And I have students where they hate the idea of British accent. It's not like it's not a goblin. It's not going to eat you if you try listen to British accent. It's very important. Like I was in school, they always tell me, speak British because that's the way the Queen Elizabeth speaks, and she speaks flawless, which means she never makes any mistakes. She's amazing. So I'm trying not to tell you like this because that was like what happening, yani. So I'm trying to tell you that try to watch so much stuff in British accent. When I say British accent, I'm not specifying quite British. You need to listen to variety of accents. You've got a British, you've got a Scottish, Scotland, Irish, Ireland. You need Australian, from Australia, of course. You need to be able to find the differences in the accents. Now, if you ask me, it's a bit hard when you start, but after that you will find it very interesting to understand, to communicate. Now, I am telling you that because I believe if you have the American accent, which is the easiest one for me and a lot of my students in my classrooms where I ask them, they say that American accent is very easy. Well, it is easy, but it make the road very short for you to go to the British accent. If you have an American accent, it's very easy to understand other accents. I'm not telling you you're going to fully understand, not completely understand, but you're going to understand it. So if you have an American accent, it would be very perfect to jump to the British accent or any accent that attracts you? For me, British accent is amazing. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's very refreshing for me because British accent have stresses. You have to make a sound in your tongue and everything inside your mouth so that you can create a sound, a stress, which make it a British. While the same word, we can absolutely say it in American, but a different accent. And now my accent changing, just like that. So now listening part. We're going to the listening part, and we are going to discuss it in detail. So, number one, listening part. Listening part, basically, there are 40 questions. We have to understand the exam. So we have 40 questions, and we have 4 sections, and you have 30 minutes. 40 questions, 4 sections, 30 minutes. Now again, 40 questions, 4 sections, and 30 minutes. So fellas, this is a really challenging, because as the way you start the exam, from the start of it till the end, hopefully I have this chart here. Yeah, this is the chart, if you can see. I don't know if you can see me, and it's not upside down to it. This is the chart. Hopefully I can make it clearer for you guys. You see, 40 questions, 4 sections, and 30 minutes. And as you start to make the exam here, and you moving forward here and here is easy, here is medium, here is getting a bit harder. So what I'm trying to say to you here is, when you start your exam, it's going to be a bit easy. It's like it's getting you ready to the real things in the exam. So first part is easy, little when you deep dig deep into it, you'll find it medium, and the last part is hard. So you need to be prepared. There are so much challenges actually. Well, some we have, by the way, 30 minutes. 30 minutes exactly. Now, some centers give you 10 minutes, extra 10 minutes to transfer, and that's for sure actually. 40 minutes total. So 30 minutes for everything, and 10 minutes, that's where you transfer your answers from the paper that you have, from the sheet of paper, to the answer sheet that you have 10 minutes. So total for listening part is 40 minutes. Now, I don't believe you will not make mistakes. When you transfer from one paper to another, even in real life, trust me, I did that, you make mistakes. So you have to be very careful. We have few notes here, notes of my own. I need you to focus on, because when you're transferring the answers from the sheet of paper, your sheet of paper, to the sheet of paper of answers, it will be a little challenging. So I need you to focus on spelling. The spelling is very essential. It's very important. You can get an X because of the word is wrong. You have to spell it very good. When you listen to it, you have to write it, and after, when you transfer your answer to the other paper, to the answer paper, you need to check your spelling. Now, it's very challenging, as I said. You have to be very careful. And some parts of the listening that needs you to write only, that's in Turkish fakat, I think. You need to write only 3 words. Now, you have to understand something. When he tells you you need to write 3 words, you must. 4 words, 5 words, 4 words, cross, 5 words, cross, 3 words, that's what I want. So I want you to focus on only 3 words. That's what I need you to do. Sometimes it's challenging because he don't say to you 3 words, 5. So you have to summarize them. You have to squeeze them. You have to put them in 3 words only. As I was saying about the 10 minutes, don't worry about a capital small letter. As they say here, it's the capitalization is not that important. So you can capitalize your letters or making them smaller. That won't be a problem for you. That's kind of advantage. Because sometimes I write capital, sometimes small, capital small. It's bad, but here you can, they can, no problem for them. Now, by the way, I'm going to give you like 30 minutes at the end of the lesson. I will read the questions. If you have any questions, we will talk about them, and we will try to understand what's your your weaknesses, your advantage points in IELTS. And so 30 minutes we have time to I read everything and communicate that. Not that much though, but let's see what will happen after. Now remember something. This point we will get back to it later, but I will discuss it just very fast for you. No penalty for wrong answers. What does that mean? Which means if you don't know what you should write in the answer paper because you didn't hear the audio file, that won't be a problem. Which means predict, guess. No, prediction is it's important. You see, when you will have time to read the booklet, the sheets where they give you the listening sheets, the 40 questions. So you will have the time to read everything. So when you read everything, you will have a kind of general idea about what the audio file is going to be about. It's like, is it a phone call, or it's ordering or delivering or anything that it can be in the audio file. Prediction is important. As much as you can, if you don't know what the hell you read, make sure to predict. Prediction is important. And as he say here, there is no penalty, which means even if you write a prediction, wrong prediction, that won't be a problem. No problem for you. I believe I have example here. So let's say the women travel on. The women travel on. Normally, how people travel, I heard the audio file, but I didn't catch the word because, it's only once. You will listen to it once. So I didn't catch the word. So the women travel on what? Maybe on bus, maybe on train, maybe on airplane. I am sure you can predict. Try to make a reasonable prediction. You see, it's like random prediction will not be very accurate as a reasonable one because you're going to hear all of the audio file, so you will have an idea of something. You will catch a transportation, maybe car, maybe train, maybe bus, maybe airplane. It doesn't matter. So try to make a prediction. So you can say that women travel on airplane, women travel on bus. Which one do you think it's more reasonable for the audio file that you've heard? Write it down. It can be right, but there is a 50-50 chance that it can be wrong. But let's stay hopeful. Let's hope it's, you know what I mean. So moving on swiftly on. Now we have this thing. I am discussing it. By the way, Barron's is my favorite book. I finished this book 3 times with my students, and I have so much notes about it, and that's what I'm giving you right now. Because if we scroll up the Barron's book, I don't believe we will have time, and it will be boring. Trying to keep things exciting here. So those are my notes. Hopefully you have pen and paper and write them. It's essential. So we have here tips. I'm going to tell you tips about listening part in IELTS. And for people who are just coming, we are talking about IELTS. It's not elementary. Mr. Siat, he's saying this is elementary. Nope, it's IELTS, sir. I'm writing IELTS over there. You can read it. Okay, let's continue, fellas. Number 1, we've got the essential. It's not essential. It's the most important thing ever. Reading instructions. Okay, guys, you have to understand something. I know we all are eager to go and read and answer the questions and get full marks, but believe me, you need to slow down and read the instructions. The instructions can be a little tricky, because we have so much types of questions. Maybe he's asking you for, you need to hear a phone call. So there is number is going to be. Let's say you have names. Maybe you are looking for names, maybe adjectives. You have to be sure that you are completely understanding what is the question all about, what he wants from you, what is the instruction in the questions, how many words you should write, 3 words, 4 words, 4 words, not, I don't believe so, 3 words only, or a number or a digit, or you have to read the instructions. You know, maybe you are quite smart, you will not do that. You will depend on your listening skill, but you know, being prepared is important for IELTS, and preparation is all about getting ready for that big, you know, big score in IELTS. Like, so much countries ask for 6.5 from 9 in IELTS. Some countries like UK, I believe, they want 7.5 to go study or studying. I don't believe there can be an immigration there, but so the points can be a little tricky. So you need to read the instructions very well. That would be for number 2. Number 1. Number 1. Now we have British English, BBC. Now, I don't know what you will say, but I am telling you that BBC is essential. Now, you ask me, what is essential? Essential equal important, very important, or necessary, important or necessary. So you have British English. Remember we talked about the accent, how to get that amazing accent, how to get your ear used to the idea of a British accent. You need to go check BBC. This is my recommendation. I recommend it to all of my students. BBC has an amazing videos where you can experience your listening. it will not be very hard for you, I suppose, because I believe BBC has all the informations that you need to prepare yourself for IELTS. That's for number 2. Number 3, now I have a friend in Iraq, and this friend is amazing. He told me this. I was speaking English. I was like, amazing. So he told me, Ali, your English is amazing, but you don't have British vocabularies. I was looking to my friend like, British vocabularies? What do you mean? You see, British vocabularies is I can't describe it. It's very important because I have since wondered like vocabularies. I think kelime or mufrad in English and in Turkish. Vocabularies. Yes, there is 2 types of vocabularies. There is British vocabularies and there is American vocabularies. But that does not stopping you from comprehending the both types of vocabularies. Because when you are trying to search, let's go for a truck. Now, if you took the word truck, it's American. So people in America, they tend to use truck so much. Now, if you go on the British vocabulary side, you will find people use lorry. So you have lorry and you have truck. Those are, so let's say you are going to truck because it's easy. It's all in English and American movies. You understand the truck. It won't harm you to go check the vocabulary for it in British. I'm not telling you that all vocabularies have British and American. Some of them. You can find differences. For example, let's go with sneakers and trainers. Sneakers and trainers. Sneakers is a sport shoes in American English language. And you have trainers here. It's sport shoes in a British English language. So trainers. It's not like your trainer or personal trainer. No, trainer here. Trainers means sport shoes. So sneakers, trainers. And I can go on and on and on. So this is number 3, British vocabularies. Make sure that you comprehend the idea that there is 2 types of vocabularies, British and American, and try to comprehend that idea and try to learn them. Because trust me, in IELTS, there will be a related words and synonyms. Now, what is related words? What is synonyms? Well, synonyms is the same word, but, synonym is a different word which gives the same meaning. That's a synonym. Same meaning, different words. Related words, for example, let's say you heard money. In the paper, you will find something about currency, about cash, about banks, things related to that word. That's basically. So what you need to understand, there is related words and there is synonyms, and you must comprehend that idea and get yourself ready. Moving on swiftly. Spelling. As we discussed before, when you transfer your answers, spelling is essential. When you listen, it's kind of a combination. It's not just listening, no. It's writing and reading inside. Because when you're going to listen, you're going to write. And you have to check your writing, that's when you're going to read. So you have listening, reading, and writing. They are very important. So you have to check your spelling because it counts. I believe so. And it might be... Yes. You have to understand that spelling is important, and you can get cross if you got wrong spelling. So be careful there. That's for number 4. Number 5. This is people think, or students think, that it won't be a problem. But in exam, you will get a little stressed about it, you will think about it, so you need to understand that plural and singular are important. Cat and cats. Sometimes you're forgetting that this is plural. So you have to make sure that you're not forgetting the S. So singular and plural, you have to understand that. Now the sixth one, the sixth tip that we are talking about is practice test. Now you are telling me, how can I find an appropriate IELTS test so that I can just be sure to comprehend what is going to what's coming to me, what's getting in my exam. So you need to be sure what are the tests going to be in IELTS. Practice tests, just go for www.ielts.org. When you go check this website, you will find practice tests there, and I'm sure as much as you do those exams over and over and over, you're going to have a capability of understanding the exam, and in the same time you're going to be very experienced with the type of the questions that they're gonna come and everything. It is very, very, very important. Oh, okay. I have exactly 5 minutes so that I can take a break, and I'll be back to you fellas. But 5 minutes, so let's continue. Okay. I don't think we can continue because this is important. Yes, we're going to talk about the changes that happen, the changes that would happen in the listening audio file when you are listening, like you are listening and you don't have to be fast. Yani yavaş yavaş. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will take a break, 10 minutes, I guess. I don't know, 10 minutes, I guess, yes. And I will get back to the live stream, and we will talk about the continuation of the tips, and hopefully we can start with reading, because there is so much things that you have that you need to answer, fellas. So 10 minutes break, and we will get right back.